Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker. I almost forgot to unmute myself. Some say I have a face for radio. Others think I have a voice for print. With a face for radio and a voice for print. I think I'm going to bring that back. So many of you have asked me to bring it back, and why not? It's kind of true anyway. So I think I'm going to bring that back. So today, I got a long series of videos for you guys. A lot of people over on Locals, at least, that are members but not supporters were like, hey, man, I like the long-form content. And it's not fair. Why can't we watch your videos anymore? You can. They're all over here on YouTube as well. All my videos are. It's just I put the long form over on Locals for supporters and the short form over here on YouTube for non-supporters. But you still get the content other than the one-off videos that I'm going to be doing for Locals and my Odd Man Out segment, which is coming back on my news channel. I've been avoiding the news because there's been nothing good to talk about. And if I read the news all day long, it just bums me out. But I'll be bringing back the news as well. So first video we're going to talk about is men make better women than actual women. And there's actually two videos that I'm going to be kind of doing on this topic. I'm only going to be covering them once in this video for YouTube, but for those of you on Locals watching this in the long form, it'll be later in the video. And it's about this, that, let me see, where's my picture there? Feminist double standards. They love house husbands. And it's about a YouTube post where women are all going crazy about loving how this guy cooks and takes care of his wife. And they're like, man, I need a life like this. Yeah, but traditionally it's been women that did that. And guys like that life too, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I saw this on the Daily Mail. Fury, as a transitioned UPenn swimmer, 22, who used to compete as a man, smashes 2 U.S. women's records in weekend competition and finishes one race 38 seconds ahead of her nearest rival. The reason why this is so interesting to me and why I think it has something to do with the manosphere is because for so long, we've been told now men can be women and women can be men, and they're allowing guys to become women and compete in their sports. And women traditionally have voted for the policies that make this happen. Women are much more left-leaning, and they voted for these policies. So what's happening as more and more men take advantage of this, or transition, whichever way you want to look at it, and I guess, I mean, you know, they make the transition. They're like, well, I like sports anyway. I guess I'll keep competing. More and more women's records are actually going to be held by brand new women that used to be guys. And that's the, let me show you the image here. I forgot to flip it back over. That's the way this is going. So this just came out a couple of days ago, and here's the actual article I wanted to read. Let me zoom that in for you, just a pinch. There we go. A UPenn transitioned swimmer continues dominant season with more record-breaking wins. And they say the 22-year-old swimmer at the University of Pennsylvania continued her dominant performance this season, setting numerous pool, meet, and program records at a 3-day event in Ohio last weekend. So this interests me because as guys now, in many cases, they're not requiring any surgeon. They're not requiring any surgery to identify as a woman now. Now, I don't think, especially at the collegiate and the high school levels, they're not taking testosterone levels and doing things like they are for the Olympics and other professional sports. They're just saying, okay, so here's the thing. There's a rapper, his name is Zuby, and I follow him on Twitter, and I like Zuby. I think he's from the UK. He walked onto camera and he said, I now identify as a woman. And then he did a deadlift, set it back down, and he's like, yay, I just broke the women's weightlifting record for deadlift in the world. I'm now the strongest women's weightlifter in the world. And after he did that, he said, okay, and now I'm going to identify as a man again. And moving on. And obviously he did that as a parody, but this is kind of the way things are going, is that the looser we are on these rules, yes, there are men that are going to take advantage of it and just do it because and I've got a story about where I think that's hurting women again. But now you're going to have national records for women being held by former guys, new women. And this is hurting women. But here's the thing. They can't speak out against it because they're the ones that voted these policies in. And if they speak out against it, they're called TERFs, and they're called being exclusionary or exclusionist to this community. They say Leah Thomas blew away her competition Friday night in the 500-yard freestyle preliminaries and finals at the Zippy Invitational at the University of Akron, according to results posted by the school. In the finals, Thomas notched a winning time of 4 minutes, 34 seconds, good enough for a new Ivy League record. So now any woman that is going to any Ivy League school, her time is going to become second best to this new woman, this Leah Thomas, who was a guy for I guess the first 2 or 3 years of college and is now identifying as a woman. So if you're an Ivy League college student, and again, we know colleges are very left-leaning as well, you've basically got you've got a very difficult task ahead of you. The swimmer continued smashing records on Saturday with a nearly 7-second victory in the 200-yard freestyle. 200-yard freestyle is not a long swim. I mean, in all sense of the words. You got 100-yard, 200-yard, but 200 yards, 7 seconds and 200 yards is a big time difference. With a minute 41, representing the fastest finish in the country. The fastest finish in the country. So now, guys, a former gentleman, now a lady, holds the record in the country. And so these women that want to say men and women are equal across the board, strength, performance, all these different metrics, they don't matter. Women can perform just as well as men. Okay, but now you're going to have to get 7 seconds faster in your freestyle to win back the time. They say over the weekend, Thomas also set a new program meet and pool record in the 1,650-yard freestyle. She finished that race in 15 minutes, 59 seconds, more than 38 seconds ahead of the second-place finisher teammate, Anna Calandazzi. Now, here's what's interesting. The teammate would have been first place, but she came in second, 38 seconds behind because of this. Stunning and brave.
Everything woke turns to shit.
They say before the transition, Thomas competed for 2 full seasons at Penn as a dude. NCAA rules mandate at least 1 year of testosterone suppression treatment to be eligible to compete as a woman. Okay, so you have to suppress it, but they don't say how far you have to suppress it. I'm sure they have numbers. But again, if you've trained and swam and you have the muscle mass and the bone density and the ligament strength as a guy, these things are not going to just fall away in 1 year. She says, swimming is a huge part of my life and who I am. I've been a swimmer since I was 5 years old. Thomas told Penn Today last June. Okay, so she, formerly he, has had the advantage of training with testosterone and strength and had all the benefits, and then just let the testosterone drop off and then competed as a woman. It says, being trans has not affected my ability to do the sport, and being able to continue is very rewarding. I'm sure it is, especially when if you were to see a woman that has this body shape, you'd say those are pretty broad shoulders. Not really super muscular because swimmers aren't, but all that training, I'm telling you. And no, so let me zoom this out so you can see the full picture. Here's her, maybe next to one of her teammates. Let me see if they have it says friend, so maybe this isn't a swimming partner. Look at the size difference. I mean, she is probably at least 6 foot something. I mean, looks pretty tall. That's pretty good advantage. Again, you get what you ask for. And that's all they say about this one. Now, the takes on the story is 1,075 people say it's a fumble. 84 say it's a touchdown. 5 say it's a field goal. 3 say it's a first down. So I don't know if that means that 1,075 people say, whoopsie, this is not such a great story, and 84 people are cheering it on. But the other one I wanted to talk about is this one. So this is for 4W Pub. Male wins female leadership position in New York Democratic Council. The gender parity rule was put in place by feminists 100 years ago to increase women's role in politics. So here you've got a guy that has transitioned into a woman, now identifies as such, and ran and took and got a position in the New York Democratic Council where there's gender rules. And I'm not going to read down through the whole entire story, but you kind of get the point. With over 90% of votes counted, Amelia DeCaudin, a man, has won the female district leader position for New York City's 37th A district. So even given the choice of choosing for a woman's role, for a position that was dedicated or put in place for women, even a guy running as a woman is preferable to other women. And this was voted on. This is not me saying this. This was voted on by other people that are pretty left-leaning in New York City. So this is this is kind of a great case of this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. So guys are like, okay, I'll just compete on the woman's edge and I'll identify as such, or maybe I'll do some transitioning or full transitioning. And they're winning, and they're going to take seats away from women on councils. They're going to take records away from women in sports. And I don't mind. Go ahead, because I'm also not a woman that's competing against them. And if women don't like this, well, you're going to have to change how you vote. You're going to have to change about the policies that you follow, because, you know, women often vote with their feels, their fifis. And it's like, well, we want them to be equal. And if they just want to be part of the group, well, we'll let them. Okay, congratulations. And here's this is kind of a fail, but this is where we're going. This is where we're going. And the reason why I bring up this story is because, guys, if you're out there, and I mean this somewhat facetiously, but not really, there are something like 300 women's scholarships that are available to like 10 or 20 that are available for men. And we know it is stunning and brave to be very supportive of the LGBTQAAI plus parentheses hashtag @ symbol. We know it's a very, very good thing to be very supportive of this community. So fellas, hey, if you're willing to grow your hair in a little bit, stuff a couple of tissues or oranges in the front of your shirt, and identify as a woman, you might be eligible to get some of these scholarships. And if they say, well, you're not really a woman, oh,
how dare you? How
dare you not say that I'm not really a woman? So they're leaving a door open. They're leaving a door open. This is from New York's law school. The New York Law School application has 13 gender options, but not man or woman.
Oh, wait, you serious?
I love this timeline. I know many of you say I get so bummed out listening to your videos, Joker, but look, you just got to unfold the camp chair, put it up on the hill, light up a fire, crack open a cold one, just sit outside of it and watch it all burn. You have to, because if you try to get embroiled in this, you'll drive yourself crazy. I love this timeline. I really do. I find this hilarious. They say applicants for the incoming class of 2021 at City University of New York, which is CUNY, School of Law, were asked to select their gender from a drop-down menu containing an astonishing 13 genders, none of which are man and woman. Additionally, applicants can choose to decline to answer or a gender not listed. The questioning is not required, and the application can be submitted without answering it. So now what's funny is that with furries and all this other stuff, like you could mark dragonkin on here. I'm not kidding. It is a thing. You can mark dragonkin, furry, like all this other stuff. And with the way that they're set this up, you can make your pronouns anything. So you can say, I identify as a furry, and my pronouns are yo dude and hey y'all. That can be your the, zezer, the, them. It can be howdy and hey y'all. Those can be your pronouns, and you can identify as furry. Look, so many people get bummed out right now, but I'm telling you, this is a great timeline. This is the most interesting time of my life when it comes to everything. So many years of your life can go by, and it's just kind of ho-hum. I'm telling you, every day is a fun, interesting, crazy story out of the news. So they have agender, androgyny, bigender, demigender, gender fluid, gender queer, pangender, trans man male, trans woman female, two-spirit, a gender not listed, declined to answer, non-binary, cis female, cis male. And that's really man, woman is the cis. But again, they're forcing it in there. The application goes on ask for applicants' pronouns with a drop-down menu of 11 options, including Zezer, what's the difference between XE, XIR, and ZE, ZIR? Zezer and Zezer. I mean, that's how I'd pronounce both of them. I don't know. Maybe Zezer and Zezer. I don't know. If applicants select I go by different pronouns, they are invited to send an email, including their pronouns, to an administration coordinator. I go by howdy and hey, y'all. I love this timeline. For the incoming class of fall 2022, the gender drop-down menu has been revised to add more options. Questioning or unsure, transmasculine, transfeminine, feminine, and the options for cis male, cis female have been updated to say cis man male, cis woman female. I'm sorry, but I'll leave you with this. This is from 9gag. So I like going on 9gag and looking at memes because I'm inside of this old man resides a 12-year-old child that I find things amusing. This was a meme that was posted and heavily upvoted. I don't know, did I take a screen? No, I thought I might have screenshot the number of likes to dislikes. This had a lot of likes on it, like 3,000 or 4,000 upvotes to like 300 downvotes. So this is heavily supported in the 9gag community, which is a community of many different people, but mostly kind of computer users and friendly to those that surf the web. And it says, girl, I identify as non-binary, gender fluid, pansexual. Guy tries to think of something to impress her. I'm mentally ill too. Now, let me say this. I know that I have been messaged by some of you that are transitioned men and or women. I'm not being harsh on your choices. I'm not being harsh on what you've decided to do with your life. I still believe you should do you, no matter what that is, no matter what kind of community, no matter how you want to identify. I'm a firm believer of you doing you however you want to. When I was younger, people that cross-dressed, which was kind of what it was back in the 90s, and people that transitioned, they wanted to be seen as the opposite gender. So if a guy transitioned, he wanted to be seen as a woman. He wanted to identify as a woman. He wanted people to see him as a her, and vice versa, the same thing. But now we're in such a validation society that not only do they want you to see them as the opposite, but they want you to know that they once were a previous gender, because they need to come out as stunning and brave, and they need to look. If that's the way you want the world, I'm okay with that. But there are going to be some weird things that happen, and you're seeing it, and because of this, again, I think it's just a case where you have to sit back, relax, see what's going on, and have a smile about it, because we're in some interesting times.